This is going to be really hard. So, I'm going to talk to you about when you first found out you got cancer. It's so hard that I'm just going to read it from my diary to start, okay? Okay, finding out you have cancer. At work I found a lump and had felt it before. It was up in the right top quadrant. I thought it was just a cyst, so I made a call from my office at Brookstone. I just started my own company, and I called my OBGYN, and they said to come right in. So I went in the next morning, and she told me that I needed to go get a mammogram, and the next day when I went to go get a mammogram, it just so happened that my mom didn't have anything else to do because she had just retired, and she wasn't worried or anything as far as I know, but I wasn't worried either. I thought it was a cyst. My mom had lots of cysts, so she came with me just for something to do. So I guess the next thing I remember is that there was a woman telling me in this white room that had lots of windows, where she did some exam. So there's this nurse who, this isn't making sense, but there was this nurse who, after the mammogram, I went into another room to get images of my chest, and it was like this really well lit room, and I remember standing there and like holding my arms up getting the pictures taken, and then the nurse came over to me and she said to look at her charm bracelet, and she showed me her wrist, and on the charm bracelet there was a pink ribbon, and she said to me, my niece had breast cancer too, and she just celebrated 1 year cancer-free. For some reason I remember her saying that her niece lived in New York City. But that was the first time I heard that I had cancer. That's how I found out. This nurse telling me that her niece had cancer too. They rushed me in to see the doctor, which is how you know something's wrong when you're not sitting around waiting. And I was sitting next to my mother in the doctor's office. She had long dark hair, and there was like this cherry wood desk with a computer in front of her. My mom was on my left, and all of a sudden my dad called, and I could hear him saying, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" It was a sound of fear that I've never heard before, and my father's voice on the other end of the phone. And my mom was trying to keep calm, and he said, "Is it cancer? Is it cancer?" And it was just too much to take in. My mom said she needed to call him back. So the doctor turned the computer monitor around and showed me a black and white image of my chest and the cancer coming out of my right breast. It looked like shooting stars. I just remember thinking it kind of looked beautiful, but I knew that it was something bad. It looked like shooting stars coming out of my nipple. She said I needed a biopsy to be sure, and rushed me over to the next room where it was really dark, and there was a light fixture above my head that looked like trees. I guess that's used to relax you when you're really scared, right? And the two women in that dark room did the biopsy. Everything seemed like green, like tinted green. And they inserted little metal clips that were shaped like a ribbon. And that was the second time I had seen the ribbon that day. Once on her charm bracelet, and then again when they were doing the biopsies, and they placed in it to keep track of where the biopsies were, they placed these little ribbons, and I was furious. Why was there ribbons in me? Did that mean I was gonna die? I'm shaking. And I'm only reading this. I didn't want the ribbons. Why were they ribbons? I could see them on the ultrasound machine. One of the women tilted it towards me as I lied flat on my back on the table. The little ultrasound machine, you know, that they do with, it showed those spots, and I could see clearly the ribbons. I hated the ribbon. It meant I had cancer. And I felt like we weren't even sure yet, but they were sure. Just like everybody else there knew except me. And I don't remember how we got home or what happened. I know my mom and dad were both at my house with me, and they were pacing around. I called Jeremy at work, and I was in the sunroom when I called him. My parents were in the kitchen. I remembered that I didn't want to bother him at work. It seems silly now, but... And I remember it was sunny out. I remember the flower couch I was sitting on, and the big windows. My cell phone was in my hand, and then listening for him to answer. He did, and I don't remember what I said except that I needed him to come home right away. And I don't remember what else I said on the phone. If I had cancer or not, I don't know. But I think I said it was related to the mammogram. So, the next day or two, my mom and dad and Jeremy and I all went back to the hospital, breast cancer center, and met around this big table, and there were pamphlets in front of all of us talking about breast cancer. And then the next thing I remember was sitting in my garage at home on a blue and white cooler, smoking a cigarette, and kind of getting up, pacing around, sitting down in the cooler, pacing around, sitting down in the cooler, and my kids and my husband were in the house. The kids were 2 and 4. And I knew I had to call my friend. I don't think I called my sister. I think she already knew, but I remember talking to Jim and Heidi and Emily on the phone. I'm not sure if Emily answered the phone or if she called me back, but my strongest memory is telling my high school friend that I had breast cancer. Just after that, everything seemed really quiet. So it's like the world stopped. And I wasn't thinking about anything else. It was probably the most quiet my brain has ever been in my life. And I knew that I was just gonna power through it. And I did. And amazingly, the treatment itself and getting through that was like being on autopilot. Just surviving, right? But then I heard that it was hard after treatment was over and everybody stops checking you constantly, every day. But I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I don't feel like anybody else understands. No, there must be people that understand. There has to be people that understand. But I think we're all told that we're survivors, we're strong, we fight. Yeah, we do. We do all those things during treatment, but it doesn't end at treatment. It keeps going. The fear of it coming back is every day. And knowing that there's no cure, and that if it comes back, it'll be metastasized, it's petrifying. You know, I did everything I was supposed to do. Found out I had the BRCA2. That was the worst day, because I had to tell my sister that she needed to get tested too, and I felt like I had just handed her cancer. And of course she has BRCA2, but where's the support for this for the years after? Why am I my only support system? I can't be alone. It's not possible. With this many people that have breast cancer or any other type of cancer, or any type of disease that doesn't have a cure, how else are they supposed to feel every day when there's like a ticking time bomb inside of you, and there's no cure? Why is there no cure? Why doesn't anybody help after? With my thoughts, with everyone's thoughts. Where is all of the help they need? You know, going into medical menopause didn't help. hormonally, having my ovaries taken out preventatively, having my chest ripped apart, sewn together, nipples gone. A fear so deep that it caused me to start drinking and become an alcoholic. Something I never thought I would be. A fear so bad that I wanted to kill myself. Many times. A fear so bad that it's made me forget that there's anything else to think about in the world. And it's really hard to live every day. You know, all I've been asking for is help. Please help. I don't want this to upset me for the rest of the day. But I think it's important for me to talk about. There needs to be hope. And you see the word hope? Hope for a cure. People think you're done with cancer, that you're a survivor. All I did was survive treatment. I didn't survive what could be the inevitable. How do you call somebody a survivor when you still don't know if it's gonna come back? And since there's no breast tissue left, if it comes back, it's coming back on another organ. My brain, my bones, my lungs, my liver. And I just have to wait and see. So somehow, I'm expected to figure it out on my own. And yeah, I'm happy to be alive, of course. But I'm also scared as shit.